And hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the WNEP Sports Spotlight here on our streaming channel and on YouTube. And joining us, Randy Spencer, the head football coach from Wyoming area, won a state title, a 3A state title back in 2019. Coach, gearing up for that opener against Dunmore. You have to go up and play the Bucks. How's your summer going? And once again, thanks for coming up to our WNEP studios here to join us for our Sports Spotlight show.
Well, thanks for having us up here, Steve, to talk a little bit of football preseason. Obviously, very exciting time, especially in the preseason. Everybody's gearing up. Everybody's undefeated going into the first week. So we're very excited. We feel we've got another great group with potential to play at a very high level and bringing back some experienced, talented seniors that'll lead the way, but also some very talented underclassmen that are growing in development. They're going to play significant roles and be impact players for us.
I've seen you over the summertime. You've certainly been busy. I know you were down at Schuylkill Haven. Coach Farr had a camp. I saw you at the Unico All-Star Football Classic there at Wilkes-Barre Area High School. Certainly that was a great night for high school football. And then Wilkes just hosted a youth camp, 400 kids there from the Wyoming Valley Conference Youth Football Camp. Just talk about your summer a little bit and kind of hit on some of those topics we just talked about.
Sure. So also, aside from my capacity as head football coach at Wyoming area, I've served as the president of our Wyoming Valley Conference Coaches Association, and also for the last 7 years as a director of District 2 in our Pennsylvania State Football Coaches Association. Honored to do so. Great organizations. So related to Unico really was a special event this year, 75th anniversary of the game. The Anzalone family, Billy and Jamie Anzalone, Anzalone Doyle Law, did such a great job sponsoring that game. They put on an incredible banquet. They brought in some former pros. The banquet at the Mohegan really engaged a lot of people, really energized the community around the game this year. And then the game this year at Wilkes-Barre area, what a venue at Wilkes-Barre area. We ended up having a great crowd, and the game was a highly competitive game. So a lot of excitement. We're looking forward to the momentum coming off that game and building that back. We're going to have them also as a sponsor of our Wyoming Valley Conference Coaches Media Day coming up here in August to hope to drive some energy with our upcoming seniors for that game as well. PSFCA, always a busy summer. The highlights are the East-West All-Star games and the Big 33 game this year. We featured Tymir Wilkerson from Berwick represented us in the Big 33 game, and several players. Fortunate to have Max Sketzy represent Wyoming area along with other players from District 2 and East-West Small, and just what experiences they are being involved with PSFCA for the last several years. Not just from a high level of football and last opportunities for kids to play a football game and represent District 2 and their conferences at the state level, but also the character that's involved, working with the buddies in the Big 33 game, just that aspect of it, charitable. Such great charitable events, and to be a part of something that is considered the Super Bowl of high school football. Every Super Bowl has had a Big 33 member player in it for the last since the inception. So just an honor to be part of such an organization and support our kids in being represented. A lot of things going on, but honored to serve in all those capacities and feel very, very fortunate, and it's special for me.
What does it mean to see 400 youth football players down at Wilkes for that camp that night?
Yeah, so excited about the energy around football in general, and especially youth football, because some of the things that are challenging and concerns of people engaging and kids engaging when they're younger and families engaging their kids. But what a job by Coach Bieber and his staff hosting that event, and 500 kids running around at Wilkes, and just excited to be out there and having a great experience with football on the field with all the college coaches and their youth coaches supporting that. And I was just honored to be there representing our Wyoming Valley Conference coaches. So many of us have great alignment with our youth programs. I could speak specifically to our program, Wyoming area, and our greater Wyoming area mini football youth organization. What a great job they've done. And we've got a great job, from an organizational standpoint with people engaged. We've got so many former players and alumni that are fathers and people around that organization that are just directly in line with the standards and the goals of what our varsity program is. So we're at a point where we hope everybody can get to, and just that alignment from top to bottom. And we're one Warrior Nation. We're one Wyoming area football program at this point, and it's exciting.
You're always worried about the present and then obviously looking forward. But you got to go to the past and help string that along, which I think you're a big part of down there in the Wyoming Valley Conference. So appreciate you doing that, Coach Spencer. Talk about your team a little bit. Some of the kids you have coming back, and obviously that opener against a very good Dunmore team coming up.
Yeah, so when we start with this year's team, again, a lot of seniors that we're excited to see. But we'll start with Luke Kopechny now. He'll be returning this year, a junior captain last year. He's considered one of the top receivers in the state of Pennsylvania. Recently verbally committed to Brown University. What an opportunity and what a job he's done securing that offer and to have an opportunity to go be a student athlete at the Ivy level. And I truly believe that Brown is getting a Power 4 skill set in Luke Kopechny with a high ceiling. So sky's the limit for him, and we're certainly going to look to him to lead the way along with some other seniors. We've got Jack Ravine, who was a dynamic two-way player and a dual threat for us last year at quarterback. He's also going to would be a returning captain for us. And then we have some experience coming back up front: Chase Grgolski, Brad Bond, Logan O'Malley. He'll be joined with another senior, Jonathan Snopkowski. Drew Keating at tight end. Drew can play in line, or he can be out in space making plays. Drew's a high-level basketball player as well. And our skill guys on the outside joining Luke. We've got Lavelle Brock. We've got Hudson Sharp. We've got a young upcoming freshman, Michael McKernan. So we've got a lot of talent that we're excited about, and they're working hard to develop and be there. Quarterback position, again, Jack leads the way, and then Luke is certainly capable of handling quarterback and playing that at a high level for us if we need. And we've got some young guys, David Favada and Tyler Karkutsky, a sophomore and a freshman, working hard to get ready to play and support that as well. In the backfield, we lose two outstanding backs in Nick Champy and Trustin Johnson. Trustin to Seton Hill University, and Nick Champy to Susquehanna. Great program. So, but we're fortunate to have a few seniors coming back. Gavin Feeney. Gavin was a two-way starter for us, and impact player 3 phases of the game as our kicker punter. We're looking for him in terms of running the ball, and Nick Kondrowski, Dominic Bartel, another young back that's developing, and also a Lavelle Brock, a Michael McKernan, and we've also got a young guy coming into the program, Samaj Morris, we're excited to see. So a lot of guys offensively that we're excited about. And then, certainly that first one at Dunmore, Dunmore's got an experienced team coming back, a lot of talent, a couple D1 offer guys coming back, and a guy on the outside at receiver, tight end. So, and I know they're experienced across the front. Coach McHale, his staff does a great job. And again, we've got such strong ties with Dunmore, of course, with Coach Henzis. Our programs have been aligned for so long, so we've got tremendous amount of respect for them, and we know what it's like to go and play Dunmore at Dunmore and what Dunmore football is all about. We've got nothing but respect. So it'll be a family affair week 1.
I think at North Pocono last year, Coach Dolan would switch Cole West from wide receiver to quarterback. That seemed to work out pretty well. How do you see kind of Luke when you're switching him in there from the wide out to the quarterback? Does that give you a little more options with him back there at the snap?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, like to keep a weapon like Luke outside for the threat he possesses, for the threat he presents to the defense. But again, he can throw the ball well. He can make all the throws. He can throw the deep ball. So it's nice to have not just him on the field on the outside, his ability to get back and run some +1 and get the ball down the field situationally at the quarterback position. But it's also nice to have a few arms on the field at the same time. So whether he's at quarterback or wide out, the fact we can have 2 or 3 arms on the field, that's always dangerous as well.
I think I did see it correctly. You are scrimmage in Southern Columbia, correct?
A scrimmage will be Abington Heights, actually.
Okay, so you're not scrimmage in Southern?
No.
Okay. Talk about scrimmage in Abington Heights. They obviously have a core of kids coming back, and that should certainly prepare you and kind of see what you have going into week 1.
Yeah, so Coach Repshis and Coach Just Dave, their whole staff, they've done a great job. Abington is certainly back the last several years, one of the top 5A programs, and reestablishing themselves, and they've had the talent to back it up. Nick Bradley and many others coming out of Abington, great group of receivers the last several years. But up front, I think they're going to be able to run the ball well with their returning running back and a lot of their weapons coming back. It's always great working against Coach. They're so fundamentally sound. They're so well coached. They're physical. And they present that talent that stresses you. So early season, great matchup. and we're excited to see the growth we come out of that scrimmage with.
Who are some of the other teams in the conference this year that you look to have a pretty stellar season?
Well, I just think you got to be excited about Berwick and Coach Curry and the program, and they had such a great year. Now they had a lot of outstanding players. Tammy Wilkerson leading the way, but they also had some senior linemen up front that did an outstanding job for them, and also they did a great job coming together as a team. And Coach Curry, no small part of fostering that. We're looking forward to the opportunity to go down there week 3 and compete at a high level against them. Anticipate them. Gabe Decker, an outstanding player, also a Division I offer. Player as a junior, quarterback Cleaver's outstanding athlete. And they've got a supporting cast. Their running backs that are coming back, and up front they'll be ready to play in physical again. So I think you have to look at Berwick. I think Coach Manello in Dallas will be back playing at a high level again, and their quarterback returns. He's more seasoned, more experienced. They've got weapons around him, and so those are two teams. Right out of the gate, Wilkes-Barre area with their athletes, I think always exciting, and they have an opportunity. They return as district champs this year. So, in Pittston area, great season last year. So they're looking to continue to grow and keep that momentum as well.
All right, well, we're just getting started with Coach Spencer. When we come back, we'll talk about last year's results, the season that they had in 2025, and then we'll go back to 2019 and talk about the state championship run to a state title for Wyoming area. More here with Coach Spencer on the Sports Spotlight. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. I'm Sports Director here at WNEP, Steve Lloyd. Joining us, Randy Spencer, the head coach of the Wyoming Area Warriors 3A football team in District 2. Last year, you make a run. You beat Crestwood, Dallas, Western Wayne, Lakeland, Tunkhannock, and then you lose to the Dogs, roll off some more wins, and then the tough loss to end the season against Scranton Prep. Overall, just your take on last year's effort and last year's record.
Yeah, so we talked a lot with our team in the offseason. It was an outstanding season last year. Our seniors did a great job battling throughout the year, faced some adversity, as all teams do, with some injuries and things like that, so we weren't able to finish as strong as we had hoped. But, what we talked about with our team last year and certainly been talking about this year is, we had a team last year that was very talented and played like champions several times and on several occasions during the season last year. Some come-from-behind victories and really great efforts. And unfortunately, we weren't able to call ourselves champions at the end of last season. So that's a little different position than we've been in the last several years. So obviously, I think that's gonna be a big motivational piece for us and key for our guys in terms of, we're not necessarily hunted this year. We're coming in. We've got to play the role as that hunter, and we got to look to get back to that high level.
Yeah, I think Prep was missing a few key pieces, got a little healthy near the end of the season with McPartland, but certainly a great effort on your part by your team. Let's go back to 2019. The big mural, I think it's still hanging outside the stadium. At least it was the last time when I was down there talking to Dom, I believe after his sophomore, junior season at Penn State, and looking up there, a pretty proud moment for the school and the administration, the community, and yourself and your team. But there's probably many moments that you go back to. Is there one moment maybe during that season that you recollect the best, or was it something in game down at Hershey Park Stadium?
Well, they say as much as you remember the wins and the victories, it's always kind of the losses for coaches. And we took a loss to Southern Columbia in I think it was week 8 or 9, and but really what we learned from that loss about ourselves and having that experience and competing with Southern for a bit in that game and what we learned from that and what we were capable of, and also kind of where we weren't yet but where we had the potential to grow as a team, to reach our ceiling. When you have that kind of light bulb moment and experience, that's kind of what we believe that's what allowed us to go on the run and be successful ultimately through the state playoffs and ultimately in the championship game. So I would still say that game against Southern at our place, which I don't know if there's been a crowd like that since then in our area for a game like that. The type of interest for that game, and both fan bases came out, and just the interest locally and regionally in that game, and the energy that provided, the stage that provided for us and those teams, and the experience for both teams to go forward and then win a state championship. I just think that was very significant and a great experience, even though it was a loss for us.
You run through the state playoffs, Randy. You beat Prep 27-zip. The Matursville 43-27 win out there at Williamsburg Area High School. Tamaqua 21-zip, and then over Central Valley by a touchdown. Comeback victory 21-14. Your kids go on. You share all those memories. Never forget that season, certainly. And I think one in particular, Dom heading out to Penn State and having the great run with the Nittany Lions that he's had. Certainly a key piece on that state final team.
Yeah, just incredible, and the representative that Dom DeLuca is for us as a program and all of our kids the last several years. This year, there won't be a year where he won't be that for us. But what he is as the person he is individually. He's not just that for us in our program. He's that for our community. He's that for Northeastern Pennsylvania. He's about to go to training camp with the Ravens, and he's got a great opportunity and a path to the 53-man roster, and we couldn't be more excited for him. But it's not just the athletic ability, it's the character. So for us, that's what we stand on as a program. It's character first, and competitive character is what makes the difference. There is no success without character, regardless of wins. And to have a representative like that out there that you can look to, really that's what it is that's most important. We're so fortunate to have Dom, and he's ours, and he's one of us, and but he's also that for so many other people, and couldn't be more proud of him, couldn't be more excited for his opportunity. So we're looking forward, just praying thoughts and prayers that he stays healthy and he's able to give it his best shot, which is something special.
You have a lot of former players at a lot of different places. We don't have, all the time in the world to talk about everybody, but let's highlight a couple players, and if there's somebody you want to mention, you can. Sure. Blaze Sokosh-Minnick, still on the Penn State roster, I believe, long snapper. We were down at the school years ago when he was long snapping. I think two of the best long snappers I've ever seen, Blaze, and there was a kid from Lackawanna College years ago. Pretty important position, and you must be thrilled a former player is still on the Penn State roster.
Thrilled. This will be his year. He's the long snapper, first long snapper. He's a starter, and we're excited for him for his upcoming season. He's worked exceptionally hard, and he's got an opportunity in the future. He's played behind two long snappers that are in the pros right now, so their program has produced that kind of level, and he may have that same opportunity going forward. So super excited. Couldn't be a better person as well as a player in Blaze. We're excited.
Where did he learn that skill set? Is that something he wanted to do, or did somebody kind of show him how to long snap?
He comes from a family of long snappers. There's three Sokosh-Minnick brothers, Trustin and Stephen and Blaze, and Trustin and Stephen were scholarship long snappers at University of Albany. So he followed in their footsteps and took it to another level at Penn State. So again, just another great role model for us, and excited for him.
And you got a couple players down at Lehigh. I think is Crosley down there, Aaron?
Aaron Crosley at Lehigh, going into his third year, worked extremely hard. He's ready to have a big season. Joey Maranka, he was an All-Patriot League selection this year. They're back-to-back Patriot League championships, so Lehigh program has it rolling. We have Chase DeSanto, who's out at Sacred Heart University, scholarship lineman out there. We've got Lodge Kellum and Max Getzy, both at East Stroudsburg University, scholarship players there, and Ethan Spees at RPI. Several players going. Again, I mentioned Trustin Johnson. I mentioned Max earlier. So we've got such great representation at the next level. So we're very proud of those guys, and they continue to inspire our guys.
Let's talk about a former player, Julian Kempenny. He's assistant defensive line coach with the Chargers. Was at Rutgers for a little bit. How often do you speak to Julian? And boy, that's quite a thrill to have a former player coaching in the NFL.
Yeah, so he's thrilled. He says it's a dream come true as far as getting to be out there and being out there in LA, and Coach Harbaugh's staff and the Chargers. It was his dream to get to the NFL. He's going to do an incredible job. We got an opportunity to see him a few weeks ago. He stopped in with his fiancée, actually, so I'm very excited for him. Congratulations to them. But again, outstanding coach, but better person, and again, what a representative for Wyoming area.
Anybody that we missed that you want to mention?
I just think we've got, again, so many guys, and the key is just represented at that level. Not are they representing as high-level athletes, but, again, great people serving their communities and being those role models for us. And again, that's kind of what drives us. We're so proud of them.
Coach Spencer, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Steve.